I gotta say, this isn't the worst way to play a game. This well, we did it. We did it again. This time, attacker takes damage, Thorns Paladin in Season 3. We took it out for a spin, and as you'll see in this Diablo kill, put the Diablo kill in here. And this Mephisto kill, sorry, cut the audio. I was saying some unintelligent things during that point. It kind of slaps. It's kind of good. It's actually pretty good. Now, we're rocking, like, the most attacker takes damage that, well, the theoretical most attacker takes damage that you can have on it. You could definitely get more than this. But it was not bad. It was not bad at all. And if you actually are willing to attack as well as just sit there and let people hit you, so if you're not going for full pacifist, you can actually do some damage. So the way that we ended up building this is a pure Thorns Paladin, originally just to be passive, right? So that's a full stack on Thorns, Might Aura as the synergy, Defiance as the synergy. We maxed out Holy Shield because remember in Season 3, attacker takes damage in Thorns abilities, or reflect abilities, now hit if the monster misses, if the monster would hit, if you would block, if you would dodge, or if it's a ranged attack. Except for Oblivion Knights, those guys are still special. But you can have max block, you can have high defense. With our like full buff kit, here I'll just like walk out here. With our full kit, we're sitting at almost 20,000 defense with 75% chance to block. And other than putting in enough points for dex and strength to wear our gear, we're sitting at, 1,700 life. Now, the benefit of it, you just don't take damage. You're either blocking or they're missing. And as long as you're just standing still and taking it, they can hit you as much as they want as well. Now, there's a lot of different monster AIs in the game that doesn't necessarily work well with this. Some of them stop attacking or switch over to just using special abilities. But, especially on something like a boss, where as long as you're standing right next to them, the majority of the time they'll swipe at you, you're killing stuff. So what does the gear actually look like? Realizing for the pacifist, we just need a lot of survivability, I threw on a wizard spike for all res. I was also messing around with storm spike for that level 23 charge bolt. But since you never really get hit, chance to proc when struck doesn't proc a lot. We also swapped over to an Azure Wrath just to see what having some, elemental damage on it and some attack speed and maybe a Sanctuary Aura would do. And it helps out if you end up charging around. But we're using Wizard Spike just for the max res on it. We have a triangles, 3 sockets with burr runes for the physical damage reduction. This has 619 attacker takes damage. Gladiator's Bane that we put 3 Amrunes in. Amrunes returns attacker takes damage. So as well, this thing is sitting at 533. On top of that, it has Can't Be Frozen. It has hit recovery. Also has critical strike if you do end up swinging a weapon, which is actually really nice. Then has physical and magic damage reduction, which is also really good. Using a Metal Grid, not only does the attack rating for Metal Grid work really well, the all res is solid, the attacker takes damage is huge, the Iron Maiden actually increases the damage that the monster is taking from you. So they're going to be taking the attacker takes damage and then also their own damage reflected. And then as well, you could be summoning an Iron Golem and then making that Iron Golem into something with ED bonus so that you can have your mercenary doing more damage or anything along those lines. Something replaceable that you can actually make the Iron Golem out of. We're using Spike Thorn. Again, Spike Thorn, huge faster hit recovery, huge physical damage reduction, and then on top of that, not only does it have attacker takes damage based off level, but you can also put skulls in it, which have flat attacker takes damage of 20. Sandstorm Trek, attacker takes damage based off of level, good hit recovery, good run walk, strength and vitality, all around a good piece. We're running dual Carrion Wind, so the life leech is actually really nice if you end up charging around and doing some physical damage, but it has the highest attacker takes damage in the game on a ring, and then you have like little procs and stuff that are kind of cute, but the faster run walk is also nice. Blade Buckle, easy, strength, dex, damage reduction, attacker takes damage, and then Hellmouth for attacker takes damage as well, and then some procs. Down in the charms, you're using all offensive auras, just be able to buff up our Thorns as much as possible. And then life, all res with an Annie and a torch. So after you max out everything here, what does your attacker takes damage value actually look like? We are returning 9,663 damage per attack swung at us. And that is before having Iron Maiden up or anything else that would increase the damage that they would take. The most important thing with attacker takes damage is that it returns it as physical damage, which isn't increased by enhanced damage. And now that it isn't actually a reflect, it is just damage dealt. Stuff like amplified damage on you won't increase the damage that monsters take or anything like that. But if you have Iron Maiden out on a monster, that will increase the effective damage that they are taking. And if you have amplified damage on those monsters, the attacker takes damage will deal more to them. So that still works. I literally AFK'd in the Chaos Sanctuary, and I could have just walked away and all the monsters within range would have killed themselves on me. It's a funny build. Quite frankly. It's funny. It's a hilarious build to watch happen. You could probably get away with running like a super juiced rune word weapon on it. You could be running something that would proc amplified damage as well instead of running the shield, and then running around charging with a massive weapon, you know, use like an ethereal gavel of pain or something ridiculous, or even just a lacerator. Run around, proc lacerator. While things are hitting you, they're taking double damage. You actually get to benefit from the fact that charge has synergies with might, and you're dealing like a good amount of damage while stuff is killing you, and you get to run it as tanky as possible. Again, you get to run max defense, max block, and the attacker takes damage will still go through. So I think this one's worth to try out, at least for like a 4th or 5th character in the season. Everything that you're wearing is straight trash, right? Nobody's gonna come and stab you for any of this gear. Nobody's gonna charge you an arm and a leg for like a whatever slammed hellmouth. And if you slam attacker takes damage on a bunch of pieces like this, keep in mind that that's gonna be a little bit of a niche market. So when you're slamming additional attacker takes damage on your Sandstorm Trek, that's not technically a brick anymore. I don't know what that's going to look like in the market, but at the very least, I'm going to be trying it out. But all in all, I think it's good. I think it's funny. Running an actual mercenary with real damage, running an actual good Iron Golem, running a decent, you know, attack weapon on here so that charge isn't completely useless. Maybe swapping out some of the points from Holy Shield and putting more into charge itself. I think there's some things here. Yeah, but all in all, it's a funny build, and it works. It's not perfect, but it works. And yeah, I hope you try it out, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.